Yeah, so coming to college, I thought
College would be a lot of fun.
I just was looking for a new start.
no one's gonna be there from my high school and I can meet all these different people, make some muffins for each other.
Going out every Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
But really, it was all about career.
I wanted to come in and out of Berkeley as soon as I possibly could.
Ultimately make it rain, with like all of my successes.
Also, eventually find a boyfriend and have a happy marriage afterwards, I guess.
Coming into college,
My one question was,
How can a good God exist?
what's my purpose in life?
How can I know that I am saved?
what evidence is there for God's existence and the Bible's validity?
I grew up in the church, so actually coming into college, I didn't have a ton of questions about God.
All these different things were just so far removed from my reality that I would never consider them.
How did I come out to Klesis?
I started coming to Klesis through my floor mate Sam. He invited me to a Klesis picnic.
I came out one time during a sports night and I saw how genuine the people were.
Everyone was really friendly.
Immediately, I just found a place of home, and I've been coming out ever since, and I've really enjoyed it.
It's hard for me to think about a vintage moment that captures all of what Klesis is about for me.
If I could pick,
That's really hard.
I think eating a lot of food and just laughing and joking.
Chilling, singing, and praying at the top of a rock in Yosemite with all of my peers.
Campfire at the end of a Klesis retreat.
The trip that I took last year with my leader and a couple of the other junior guys shared openly and honestly with one another about our faith and the state of our relationships with one another.
Bible study. I felt really comfortable as a non-Christian just asking all these different questions I had about the text we were going through, and the staff and all my other peers, they were so genuine in wanting to answer my questions.
it would have to be Sierra Lodge. You had all of the good staples of Klesis. You had good food, good people, good fellowship and learning about God and God's Word, and of course, more good food.
I started investigating Christianity because I got really jaded from life in high school.
Unfulfilled by different relationships, and I was tired of being so frantic about academics.
Just all sorts of different pathways that I thought would lead to success or happiness, and I was just really tired of spreading myself
I
thin.
grew up with Christianity my whole life.
I always thought you had to believe it on purely blind faith.
It really never had an impact on my life.
Until God opened my eyes to really see a lot of my sins and how I'd been ignoring them and ignoring all their consequences.
I projected this image of being, cleaned up, nice guy. I knew on the inside that, I was filled with all these really wicked things, of just being self-centered and very proud, just filled with these lusts. So I knew that if there was a God out there, he was probably pretty upset with me, and I was probably in a lot of trouble.
When I came to college and I met the Christians around me, I really met people who had peace and rest and security in their identities as sons and daughters of God, while I knew that I viewed God and eternity and heaven and hell with a sense of fear and trepidation.
But then the Christian God, the God that all the Christians proclaimed, they were so filled with joy and filled with love, and I wanted to know who that God was.
One night after a bowling event with Klesis, I was talking to one of the staff, Myra, and I realized that I didn't understand the concept of grace. Grace that people could actually trust in, and the freedom that that brought.
And I thought college would be a good time for me to explore that, because college is where you grow personally, and I think this is something that I should invest my time in.
I began doing immense personal research. I watched debates on William Lane Craig, I read online material, and I pestered my Course 101 leader, John Eng, with all manner of questions.
At first it was just something interesting, and then I realized it was a lot more fulfilling than I thought it would be. I learned that, man, there's actually really good reasons to believe in God, and God actually provides purpose in life, and he explains why we're all here.
So something that makes Klesis different.
I think people in Klesis try to live life together. They really genuinely love each other.
I don't feel like I have to impress other people.
Klesis just stands as home for me.
An ever-loving, ever-open home
Where I'm constantly challenged to take my faith more seriously.
where the gospel really found its way to the center of everyone's heart.